In case you missed out on my perfume declutter video, I essentially cleared out 800 fragrances from my collection and only kept the perfumes that either had a meaningful, deep memory associated with them or fragrances that made me feel a certain way. Out of the 800 fragrances, 625 are going for the Perfume charity sale, and then the remainder I'm donating to a women's shelter or women's shelters, because there's quite a lot of fragrances, as well as to family and friends. It's the week of the Perfume charity event, and I thought I'd vlog the prep process as well as the event itself, if I can, because some of you have asked me to share this, and I'm pleased to say that all of the tickets sold out within 12 hours. I was in complete disbelief with. I couldn't quite believe my eyes. So I just wanted to say a huge heartfelt thank you to those of you who are participating in this event. All the proceeds of the ticket sales are going to a charity, and the charity is Anthony Nolan. It is based in the UK. The work that they do is for leukemia and blood disease patients. The vast majority of their efforts is concentrated on finding the right donor or match for a bone marrow transplant. That is what my uncle received when he had leukemia. Sadly, it didn't work out for him. However, it is a possibility at a second shot of life for those who are sick with leukemia. And this is something that is especially close to my heart. So thank you. I'm currently packing up the remaining fragrances. There's already 3 enormous suitcases full to the brim. I'm gonna add some discovery sets, lots of samples, so that there's little surprises during the day as well. Let's get to it. This whole area is so messy. It's an eyesore. There's stuff everywhere. A lot of you have asked me to share an updated perfume collection. I will eventually share it with you, but what I want to do is I want to spend a little bit more time with my collection. It almost feels like a new collection, by the way. Whenever I go back to the perfume closet, which is just there, it makes me really happy to see the fragrances that I have. But for now, I just want to enjoy the scents, you know, and wear them, see how I feel with them. And that is that. I've never done a event on this scale before, and so it's been an interesting learning experience, to say the least. Typical Capricorn brain, everything needs to be planned out and perfect, but what I've realized over time is just to surrender. Focusing on every single little detail, making sure it's perfect, does not serve me, and also is counterproductive. So if the event isn't perfect, well, it is what it is, you know? There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just doing my best. Welcome to the epic chaos of my office. You know what? When I was younger, my grandmother gifted me for Christmas a little mini cushion that I could hang on a doorknob, and it was written, "Range ta chambre." And I don't think I took it very well when I was younger. But I guess things don't really change years later, because here we are. But my point coming on is to show you my scent of the day. It's a new fragrance that I have been trying for a little bit of time, and I really enjoy it. So this is the fragrance in question. It's the new Bottega Veneta collection. This is a work of art. Every fragrance comes with a gorgeous marble base to just put it on. It has its own little plinth. And then the glass bottle is incredible. You have some little bubbles as well in the glass. It's stunning. I haven't actually looked at any of the notes, the story behind the fragrances, because these days I like to experience scent on my own first without having any external influence, whether that is a perfume review, any sort of opinion, or branded notes. I want to create my own little memory with it first before looking into what's in it, what's the inspiration, etc., etc. To me, this perfume is a really soft, clean smelling neroli that is sheer, beautiful, and elegant. There's something a bit buttery about it as well, which is quite interesting. A middle ground between Solar Blossom from Mise en Cire and Neroli Orangé from Matière Première. It sits in the middle of the two. There's a little bit of sweetness, but also some clean, musky, fresh neroli. And I feel that it pairs really well with my outfit today. I'm just wearing this little turtleneck from Mango. I have a Intimissimi base layer on the bottom, and then some pleather leggings that I think I got from Zara either last year or the year before. I'm gonna go out now to get some stationery because I'm thinking of writing some personalized cards to those who are attending the event. I forgot to tell you the name of the fragrance because there's multiple perfumes in this collection. The one that is the Neroli fragrance, which is the one that I'm wearing today, is called Colpo di Sole. And then the other one that I enjoyed from the collection, and I'm testing these out very slowly, it's Come With Me. This is an iris fragrance, a powdery, elegant iris. And so far, the common thread from the two perfumes that I enjoyed is that there is a soft, quiet luxury about them. Elegant and chic without being overly loud. I feel like a lot of these fragrances today, the X-rays, we want something that is more and more and more powerful and loud and show-stopping. These are show-stopping fragrances, but in a quiet luxury way, which I really enjoy. I'll let you know when I've tried the rest of the collection. I really want to take my time with these fragrances, just like any of the new releases. It's important for me to test them out over several weeks, sometimes months, to see how I get along with them. It kind of removes the pressure on having to talk about newness all the time, but also giving enough time for me to either build or not a connection with the fragrance. Since it's Christmas, I got these two card designs, which are really adorable, and all that is left to do is to write my little message. I really wish I had some serious pens to write these notes, but I'm a child at heart, and my collection of pens are either highlighters or little erasable pens like this with cute animal heads. This has taken me 3 hours, but everything is written. Now I'm gonna add the finishing touch, which is a spritz of the perfume Per Se by the brand 2787. This is the fragrance that I wore last year when my uncle was sick, so I find that it is particularly fitting given that this is going to be a perfume charity sale. As I said previously, all the proceeds are going to go to a leukemia charity, and since this perfume has been so close to my heart during those difficult moments, as a result was a comforting tool to me, I feel like it would be a nice touch to spray the cards with the fragrance. Oh, this smells really, really good. This reminds me of the scene from Legally Blonde where she sprays her resume with perfume for her internship application. And I quite like that touch. I like the idea of leaving a little scented memory of you to people, whether that is wearing the actual fragrance or, you know, handing out handwritten cards. The idea behind this fragrance is that it came in a limited batch. From what the founder said last year was that it will still exist, but the scent could change. So I'm going to use a little amount because I do love this fragrance and I've used quite a bit of it already, but I want to share it with those who attend the event so that they can experience it too. I need to take a break. I have my Reformer Pilates session, so gotta change for that. All of this writing has like stuck my shoulder a little bit. So it's a good thing I'm gonna stretch it at Pilates. But first, to get myself in the mood, let's pick my gym scent, which by now you probably know the drill. My go-to Reformer Pilates fragrance is Matin de Jade from Infiniment Coty Paris. I like to describe it as a calming ginger citrus tea. There's something that is relaxing but invigorating about it, which is exactly what Reformer Pilates is like for me. At the same time, it has a meditative quality, a calming quality. But for those of you who have tried Reformer, it is also a mental game because it can be really challenging. And I find that this fragrance puts me in the mood, ready to go, have a great kickstart to Pilates. Oh my gosh, that was so hard. But my body always feels great after Pilates. It feels like it's stretched and it's worked in all the right places. And now I'm just off to get some chocolates, maybe some cookies or biscuits for a little surprise goodie bag for those who are attending the event. I wiped clean the chocolate and biscuit aisle. No, I'm kidding, but there is a lot of things. So first of all, I got the McVitie's biscuit selection. Then we have a Waitrose selection of Christmas biscuits. And my favorite, oh my gosh, I used to have this as a child in Switzerland, and every time I go back, I have to have these cookies during Christmas. It's these. I might even try one. They're basically mixes of nuts, spices, and then some icing sugar on top, and some good old quality street chocolate. I'm so excited to be giving these because I know I would be excited to eat this if I received something like that. So let's continue. Good morning. I finished packing up all of the goodie bags and writing all of the letters. I just received the Anthony Nolan leaflets. I spoke to them yesterday and they were so lovely. They sent these that will be distributed throughout the day. I also visited a women's shelter earlier today, the Marylebone Project. It's solely a women's shelter. I had a long chat with them. I also visited the facilities, and they have 120 beds, so women can actually sleep the night, those who are in desperate need, which is really great. If a woman has an emergency situation, she can stay up to 56 days, I believe, in that facility, which is great. There's also some help with mental health. There's activities that are run, gardening, knitting classes, and much more. So I'm really excited to be donating some of my fragrances there. I will be going in just a moment. And you know what? There isn't that many women's shelters in London, which I was really surprised to find out. Also, I called another women's shelter saying that I had fragrances to donate. They declined it. They were like, we only take non-opened products, which I was a little bit surprised with, you know. So scent of the day is Shine Despite Everything from Atkinson's. I've been really enjoying this perfume lately, and I got a few compliments because now I try to spray my clothes as opposed to my skin, and I feel like people can smell my fragrance more when I wear it on my clothes versus skin, and I just douse myself. This is a nice, spicy, ambery, cozy mix. Makes me think of the sheer softness and femininity of Valaya, but wrapped in spices, amber, and a touch of almond. I'm definitely taking this for the Christmas holidays. I feel like this is going to become my Christmas scent this year. It is festive, it is magical, and really cozy. I don't think I'll film inside the shelter. I don't find it's appropriate. But I'll let you know how it went afterwards. The reason why I wanted to give the fragrances a part of the collection to a women's shelter is because we know how emotionally connected fragrances are. If they can spark a little bit of joy or bring comfort to some of these women, that makes me really happy. And that is what fragrance is about. These are the goods. So 3 full bags. This represents around 100 or so fragrances. So everyone will be able to have one. I'm also keen on distributing the fragrances myself so that I make sure that they go into the hands of these women. And it'll be really nice as well to meet some of these ladies and give them a little bit of festive Christmas cheer along the way. I just left the shelter. It was so lovely. I'm a little bit emotional because I spoke to some of the ladies and I could see the joy that the fragrances brought to them. One of them was like, I love fragrance. It's the blueprint of a woman. And that is absolutely it. And she's also a poet. And she just was so happy to have one of the fragrances. Yeah, it made me really happy to see so many women happy. I think I need to chill for a little bit because a lot of emotion. And well, tomorrow is the big day, so gotta gear up for that. Good morning. It is 6 a.m. and we are just about to head out to the event site. But I wanted to show you my scent of the day before we do that, which is Per Se from 2787. Of course, I feel like this fragrance is really appropriate for today's event. It's also the fragrance that I used to spray the cards. And I'm really excited, a bit nervous as well. Oh, I can't wait to get everything set up. I think it's gonna be a wonderful day. So let's get to it. Just unwrapping all the fragrances, starting to look like something. It is 8 a.m. And we're making some good progress. All the fragrances are now displayed. We have some BDK, some Initio, Parfum de Marly, Famine, MFK. Over there, come on closer. We have some Memo, Matière Première. There's a lot of different brands and styles of fragrances. We're gonna go over there. Come here. And here we have some more, and that is it. We are ready to let people in. We have some good.
Yeah, pick this Melo Riviera. Oh yeah, grapefruit. Take that one. Are you ready to check
Yes.
this out?
Yes.
Okay.
It has been 3 days since the event happened. I needed a little bit of time to process all the thoughts before coming back on. So in the grand scheme of things, the event was very successful because the main goal of the event was to raise money for charity. £11,000 will be going to the Anthony Nolan charity, which I'm really, really pleased with. But to me, this event is bittersweet. Another goal that I wanted to achieve with this event is to connect with my community, with some of you guys. My community is the reason why I was able to leave my 9-to-5 job that I hated and do something that I love for a living. And for that, I'm so grateful. And I wanted to meet some of you, say thank you, and give back. And I met a lot of you who were so lovely. We had an amazing interaction, and it was so interesting to see what got you into fragrances. And I enjoyed sharing those moments of connection. It brought genuinely a lot of joy. Unfortunately, there was a group of people that overshadowed the joy of the event day and frankly ruined it for me. Before I get into it, there are definitely some learnings that I've taken away from doing an event like this. It's the first time that I did something, put something together, planned by myself, and of course, things weren't going to be perfect. And I'm completely fine with it, because if things are perfect, then there's no opportunity for growth. And there certainly is opportunity for growth with this event. The first thing that I would have done differently is do tickets with allocated time slots so that people would have to avoid waiting for so long outside. And the second thing, and most important thing, is that I would have capped the number of tickets people could buy. What made people upset was the fact that there were 2 individuals that purchased half of the tickets. I never imagined that 2 people would buy half of the tickets. It's something that simply didn't cross my mind. But again, the goal was to raise money for a charity. And the rules and guidelines were very clear. You could buy as many tickets as you wanted, and it was first come and first serve. These 2 individuals showed up at 6:30 in the morning, which was 3.5 hours before the doors opened. And so those who came later, who had to wait for a long time and saw a lot of the fragrances go, got angry. I hate to break it to them, those were the rules of the event. Now, I tend to see life through rose-colored lenses, see the best in people, I guess it's an innocent way to see life, but that's just who I am. The idea that these fragrances could be resold at a profit disgusts me. I am not saying that these two individuals did it for that reason. I will never know. But just to be safe, I got them to sign an agreement where if we catch them, and I say we because if you see this also on eBay or on anywhere, please let me know. If we catch them reselling the fragrances, they will need to pay back the full retail price of the fragrance. So we got them to sign this. I don't want to accuse anyone because I don't know what the motive behind that was. That said, they didn't break any rules. First come, first serve. They were here at 6:30 in the morning. They paid for the tickets, and that was it. And a third learning was a lesson on humanity on a deeper level. There was an array of individuals at this event. Some were really lovely, a lot were very lovely. Some were a little bit more quiet, perhaps more neutral, but happy to be there. And then there was a handful of hateful people. I am deeply, deeply disappointed with the behavior of some of these people who attended the event. And as a result, they've spoiled it for everyone because I will never be doing an event like this in the same capacity. And to repeat, it's a minority of people. The majority were really lovely, but the minority spoiled it for all of us. This event was about connecting, sharing, and giving away to a meaningful charity. Yet some people still managed to complain. Some didn't even say hello, didn't acknowledge any of the organizers, including myself. And I can tell you that these people went straight to their keyboards to send me nasty messages. I have seen them both on Instagram and on YouTube and did not even dare to mention that to my face at the day of the event. There was a huge sense of entitlement. Someone even wrote online that they only saw scraps. The scraps that were left were a mix of niche and designer, with likely an average retail value of 70 plus pounds per fragrance. I don't know in what world they live in, but to me, a scrap is a crumb of bread, not a 70-pound fragrance. I don't understand. I'm in utter shock and it's disrespectful. What's interesting is that when a bargain is to be made, that is when you see the worst from people. Whenever money is involved, personal money is involved, that is when the worst comes out. Even if it's money that is going to charity. That's the reality of things. I couldn't shift this uncomfortable feeling that I felt in the pit of my stomach. I just didn't feel right. I felt sick to my stomach. Something like this will not happen again. However, I do want to take the opportunity to thank those of you who came in good spirits, who had a great time, managed to find fragrances that spark some joy, because that is what perfume is about. It's meant to make you happy, make you feel joy, make you feel positive. That is what this event was about, is spreading some positivity and connecting over fragrances. So I want to say thank you so much to those of you who did that. It was a true joy to meet you, and I am glad, so glad, that these fragrances have found a new home, a new loving home. And with that, I will close the chapter on 2024 because this is the last video that you'll see from me this year. And I wish you all good health, happy holidays, and the best for next year. I will see you in 2025.